Hello and welcome everyone back to the How to Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we are back with another banger PulseChain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And today we're going to be covering the core ecosystem. We're going to be talking about the DeFi products of PulseChain. Is DeFi dead? What is happening this altcoin season? Why are we seeing these numbers that are very bloody? And I'm going to be talking about, we're going to look at every chart within the core 7 ecosystem. It's not the core 4 in my opinion, which is Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and INC. I believe there's 3 more, which is eHex, PWBTC, and PDAI. Guys, these are products that are honestly, it's the make or break for PulseChain, because if you think about it, PDAI and PWBTC are both one of the most unique selling points of PulseChain. Never been done before and only possible here in PulseChain for a lot of reasons that we're going to cover. And number one, because PulseChain is not just a regular fork of Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen, it is a full system state copy of Ethereum. So that means when it launched in May 13th of 2023, there was a snapshot that was taken where every token and their holdings were cloned over in PulseChain, effectively resulting in the world's largest crypto airdrop. Yeah, it is very, very exciting. We're going to be talking about that. I'm also going to be giving my opinion. How far could we see those numbers go lower before we see the color green again? So watch the whole video through. I do urge everyone to watch my previous video as well if you guys missed out. But we're going to start off with addressing the elephant. Well, not the elephant in the room, because that's Bitcoin right now, but the one of the biggest losers today, which is Ethereum. Okay, a lot of people are saying this is subject to market manipulation, which to an extent I could agree to this. And it is kind of really a double-edged sword. And we were speaking about this in the Telegram community, which I urge everyone to join that discussion. It's a free community. Obviously, I'm there almost 10-20 times a day. So if you have any questions, throw it at me or at the community. But they were speaking about, are we trusting the new administration, which is the Trump administration, leading crypto, or in general, is it great for the financial market? And I believe the answer is yes. But yes, at the same time, it is a double-edged sword, because we're seeing a lot of market manipulation. You never know that these prices, such as what we're seeing right now with Ethereum, is kind of being done intentional. And I want to actually refer to this tweet right here, which in my opinion kind of talks about why is this a motive. Okay, so one of the main things is that strategic Bitcoin reserve, which here has the potential to generate 16 to 81 trillion in wealth for the US Treasury by 2045. And if you guys didn't know, America's US debt is around 36 trillion. Okay, they're actually incurring more debt than GDP per year, which is not great. I think it's around a ratio of 132%, guys. Okay, so a 1.3x of America's annual GDP, which is this is probably why they're motivated to explore other options. And being in Bitcoin, they want to lead the crypto industry before China, because China is the runner-up country in terms of Bitcoin holding. I think they're around 115,000 Bitcoin, when America is around 190-ish thousand, maybe even 200,000 now. So there's that as well. Looking at the strategic Bitcoin reserve here, win the race to dominate cyberspace and own the future. Acquire 5 to 25% of the Bitcoin network. This is huge in trust for the nation through consistent programmatic daily purchases between 2025 and 2035, when 99% of all Bitcoin have been issued. So in terms of the block rewards inflation, so right now I think we're at 3.125 Bitcoin per block, and obviously each 4 years roughly, that's when we get the Bitcoin halving. The strategic Bitcoin reserve SBR has the potential to generate 16 to 81 trillion in wealth for the US Treasury by 2045. This is obviously very good news for both the country and in crypto, because now this is their vision and their long-term holders. It's good for the people who are on board, and it's good for the people who are basically in Bitcoin or in crypto before they got on board. So we, for example, we're seeing stuff like the World Liberty Finance. They're buying Ethereum, guys, and I covered this in the previous video. That's actually their biggest share of their portfolios, around a third of the portfolio holding Ethereum. So actually, follow the smart money. You don't need to wait for the chart to update to know that Ethereum is a great buy. Okay, so think like a whale. This is why copy trading is also a successful strategy. Think like a whale until you become a whale. And here, never sell your Bitcoin. By 2045, the reserve should be generating 10 plus trillion annually, guys. Annually. This is crazy vision. Do you understand why? Because right now, the total crypto market cap, including all the altcoins and Bitcoin, which by the way, right now, Bitcoin's probably around 61% dominance, is around 3 trillion. I mean, we can double check this right now. Look at this. Total crypto market cap, 2.5. And they're telling us here that annually we'll be giving them a 10 trillion in revenue or in yield. That's absolutely crazy. Continuously growing and serving as a perpetual source of yield. I mean APY, wouldn't be APR here in this case, because they would have to obviously hold it to realize the whole return, and serving as a perpetual source of prosperity for the American people for generations to come. I really do like this, okay, because we do want to keep America leading this crypto industry. One of the reasons is, of course, when you look at all these stablecoins, what currency are they in? Yeah, US dollars. So it is a no-brainer to keep that going. And going back to it, there's also another great piece of news here. Again, you guys need to understand that a win for Bitcoin is actually a win for all of crypto holders, including altcoins and degen holders like you and I. Okay, so look at this. Supply shock is real for Bitcoin. Only 146,000 Bitcoin left in the over-the-counter. I believe this is the over-the-counter markets. Major institutional buys will soon hit public exchanges. Buckle up. So yeah, you can see that 70% down since 2021. So this is this is very, very good news. So now in terms of Ethereum, as we spoke about, this is a really great pattern here that I found over on Twitter. Shout out to Ted Pillows. That shows us this same pattern back in 2016, hopefully being replicated here, what we're seeing with Ethereum. And I think this actually goes hand to hand. And this is a very important arch that I put down here, is that you need to expect things to go slightly lower before we see this pattern actually start playing out. I do believe that we're going to see a reversal by the end of this month. I know this is quite, you hear a lot of people saying, oh, just 2 more weeks, just 2 more weeks. Look, overall, I'm not really short-term price oriented, but I have actually been doing a lot of research where I have a lot of great reasons, which I'm going to cover right now. One of them is actually the fact that, which I covered in the previous video, the M2 supply, which usually is around a 70 to 75 day delay compared to Bitcoin. You can see that actually by the time Bitcoin catches up to the M2, we can see here at the intersection point, it falls under 30th of March. And then we can actually expect, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin to reach back to that 6-figure mark around May. So here, the beginning of the rally up, this could be very, very good in terms of ETH BTC ratio. So keep an eye on that. And of course, if Ethereum is going up, altcoins are going up at an amplified rate of that. So it's a really big win for altcoin holders, which includes what? PulseChain. This is why I'm very, very excited to be covering and reminding people, okay, the main narratives of PulseChain, the core ecosystem. You don't need to think about, oh my God, I want to make, 100x, which means I need to look at the shiny new object. No. A lot of those very bullish narratives, okay, yes, they're still speculative at the end of the day. There's no guarantees in crypto. Welcome to the free market. You need to understand, do not fade those. They're on a heavy discount. It's crazy to be waking up to Teddy Bear, guys, regarded as the #1 meme coin. Of course, is PTGC, that's the #1 meme coin. But Teddy Bear is at 20 million market cap. That's absolutely crazy. That's a 50x to 1 billion, guys. Okay, people calling it the Shiba Inu of PulseChain. Do not sleep on Teddy Bear. Now, what does that mean? I'm not telling you to buy. It depends on your definition of sleep on Teddy Bear. So obviously not financial advice. I have to tell you guys this. You have to do your own research. Only invest with risk capital. And please manage your portfolio in terms of diversification depending on your risk tolerance. I want you guys to sleep well at night. Please. And try to understand what you're investing in or you're about to invest in, because it's easier to do that way so that you can continue holding them even when the price goes lower. Okay, you will be rewarded for delaying your gratification. We are in a believers only bull run. Please, please, please understand this. These are all psychology, guys. Okay, at the end of the day, when you look at charts, yes, you're looking at just lines, but it's actually another word of saying technical analysis is called emotional analysis. So keep that in mind. Anyways, going back to it here, I made this tweet a couple days ago just to see people's reactions. And really, I wanted to talk about this concept of diminishing returns. Okay, PulseChain launched in the middle of the bear market, as I mentioned, in 2023. That was actually the perfect time for a blockchain to, or any project really, to launch. You want to launch at the lows. So actually think about it. If there was a project, if there was a new project to launch on PulseChain, this is the best time. Because now imagine a new token created, and then you set the liquidity to be with PDAI, right? This is, by the way, it ties back to Hart's law. And then you have the majority of the liquidity with PDAI. Guess how many X's PDAI on its own it would do to go into $1, hypothetically? That would be around a 200x. And now because you launched at this low of a price, guess what? You're going to take advantage of that PDAI. And because of your token, again, this is assuming that no buys, no sells happen. So again, zero demand. If you're the only one who's holding it, you'll experience that 200x. But now because you're a token, you might have other tokenomics that are very exciting, etc. You'll be a leverage of PDAI. So my main point is the best times to build is when the prices are low, so that when it really recovers, you're actually way up. So, keep that in mind. A lot of people, they tend to reduce their DCA when the volumes are low, which is crazy to me, because you're actually supposed to be greedy when everyone else is fearful. We're looking at the crypto greed index. Look at this. It is extreme fear, guys. If the majority of the players in a network is fearful, this is what the definition of sentimental analysis. You look at what are the participants of the network? What are they saying? What are they doing? Are they fearful? Are they bearish? Are they saying, oh no, Bitcoin topped? Oh, Ethereum is dead, third cycle curse. Oh, I'm only going to buy Solana. A lot of people say this. Oh, I'm only going to buy XRP. I'm only going to buy that. I mean, oh yeah, add Cardano XRP to the Bitcoin reserve. You have to be the contrarian in that case. This is why I have slept. This is why I was so confident in PulseChain. The first day I opened it, I was like, hold on, this is so different. And by the way, this is aside from the fact that we have such a great community. One of the strongest communities in all of crypto. Be somewhere where 99% of crypto investors and traders are not. Okay, welcome to PulseChain. We love you. So yeah, as I was saying, in terms of the diminishing return, you can see almost all those projects that you see here are actually not a cycle one project, except PulseChain. PulseChain, because of the fact that it is cycle one, this is its first bull run that it's experiencing, we can expect a high growth potential. For example, okay, XRP, in its first bull run, it did a 600x return. Okay, but since after that, it's starting to diminish returns because it's already mainstream. Okay, one of its greatest pumps recently was because of the fact that they had a partial win with the SEC. I mean, they still received a fine, but it was still a win regarded for the general public. Okay, same thing with Solana, for example. Yes, fair enough, it did its 10 to 20x. Great news. But guess what? It's already in the billions of market cap. We're not going to expect it to do 100x. Same thing with Bitcoin. Guys, look up the S-curve of adoption. That is it. If something is mainstream, the growth potential starts to mature. There's actually maturation. Okay, so with PulseChain, we're still at the bottom of that S-curve, where we still haven't experienced that rapid growth section. Guys, rapid growth. Look at where is PulseChain today in terms of market cap. Oh my God, a 589 million market cap. Guys, do you know what's crazy? Is that once you go here, we look at Cardano, the market cap is 23 billion. So we're basically a 50x away from Cardano's level. Do you know what's even crazier? Looking at PulseChain's daily volume, 38.5 million. Okay, let's go find Cardano. Where is it? What is the amount of volume it is pulling today? 7 million. Guys, think about the market cap to 24-hour volume ratio. Absolutely crazy. PulseChain is so undervalued. It is gate kept. The fact that we had the SEC case not just being dismissed, Richard Hart beat the case thanks to Judge Anti-Carroll. Okay, only 5% of those cases get beaten as opposed to the majority that were dismissed by the SEC case. Like, this is huge, guys. Okay, yes, unfortunately, we didn't see any immediate effect with the price action, but you need to understand, we only had one of the factors required out of the two, which is what? Ethereum needs to start performing. Ethereum is leading, guys. Ethereum is leading the altcoins. It is simple matter of that. If you believe in PulseChain, you have to by default believe in Ethereum. Okay? There's no sugarcoating. You have to believe in Ethereum. That is it. We are a leverage of Ethereum. Whatever Ethereum does, we're going to do a leverage of that. So keep that in mind, please. Moving on to the next tweet here, which I mentioned again in a previous video, but actually this ties in really hand to hand with the whole M2 supply. You can see that obviously the intersection here is around 30th of March. Guess also what's at the 30th of March. That is the solar eclipse. Nobody's speaking about this. Everyone's talking about the blood moon. That's obviously a bearish sign in the 14th of March. Okay, that's too bad. What am I going to do? Do you want me to sell? No, I'm not going to sell. I'm going to hold. I'm going to DCA slowly. Like, okay, even if my buying power is actually kind of low right now, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, but if you cannot DCA, the next best thing is to absolutely do nothing. The best traders in this world, the best investors in this world, guys, are the people who do nothing for long periods of time. Nothing. Okay? And as well, the people that are, unfortunately dead, or the people who forgot their password. You know what I mean? But yeah, so keep that in mind. Like, solar eclipse this month is going to be a very eventful month. I'm very, very excited. And in terms of other news, in terms of the CME gap, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange gap that I spoke about yesterday, I'm very happy to see that it has already been filled. So this is actually a very, very good news. Guys, I've never been so bullish to see Bitcoin fall down. Like, it's so crazy. And of course, as a result, Ethereum is under 2,000. Very scary. Like, for a lot of people, guys. Very, very, very scary. But hey, man, I'm so excited. This literally means, guys, the lower that we go, the greater that slingshot effect will be for altcoins. Because we're going to prove a lot of people wrong. If everyone is saying no altcoin season, guess what's going to happen? The opposite. We will get an altcoin season. Okay? And it's unfortunate. We were expecting it to happen in March, like I've been telling people in 2024. It's going to happen in March, but it's just being impeded. Okay? It's not being suppressed. This is called impedance. Guys, we're still going to have 2025 is still the year where the stars have aligned, and I'm so excited because PulseChain is the best place to be. It's simple fact is that best place to be. Okay, so and we're going to cover the charts in a second. So hold on, stay there, and hope you guys are enjoying this video. Comment down below. It literally helps boost this video in the YouTube algorithm to people who potentially have never seen PulseChain but are crypto investors. So there's a tweet here. Ethereum feels like a complete manipulation to me lately. Every single violent pump is met with a violent dump. It seems like a market maker do not want the market to go higher. Anyone else feeling this way? That's kind of what I spoke about already. Shout out to him for Dexter for following me. It makes you think that they don't want it to rise. It makes you wonder if the top is already in. And again, he's just being bearish and he's just saying, I think the downside. I think more downside is possible. That's exactly what I say. Just be ready for that. But I really do like this pattern that we are seeing compared back to the 2016. I think this is very, very possible. And I still have my same targets of 7,000 Ethereum price. That's, I think, a walk in the park. 11,000 price for Ethereum. I think that's going to be around my euphoria territory. Anything more than that, that's definitely going to be, I'm going to be taking profits per week. What does that mean? My definition of taking profits, it just means turning my altcoins into stable coins. Simple as that. I don't need to do that with PDAI because PDAI is going to become that stable coin. That's the safe place to be. So those are one of those tokens that I'm not really going to sell. I'm going to leverage that to make more yield, which we're going to talk about in a second because, a lot of people are saying, what's the incentive of holding PDAI once it goes to $1? And that is a great question, okay? Because the whole point is actually we're at a phase where Richard Hart has, if you guys didn't know, has reduced the inflation, the INC inflation. So all the farms that are in PulseX farms are basically given very low APRs. I mean, fair enough. This is actually not bad. It's double digits still, but this used to be, 60s, used to be like 80, I think, at some point. And probably at the beginning of PulseChain's launch, probably triple digits, 100 plus. But in terms of this, how is this going to incentivize people, to make 8%? It's absolutely nothing. I think Richard did this on purpose. We're at the phase right now where he wants to disincentivize people from providing liquidity so that we are lighter. Okay, we can go here in info and you will see what I mean. So because liquidity is basically like a weighted effect, it is a double-edged sword. It does make prices more sustainable and handles buys and sells, keeps the price more stable. It's like a cushion, but at the same time, it makes it heavier. So it requires more capital to raise the price of that network. So the fact that we have less liquidity, we're more pumpable. Quite simple as that, really. So you can see here at the beginning, towards the end of January, we're at 370 in liquidity. Now we're all the way down to 101 million in liquidity, total V1 liquidity. So 101 million plus 58 million. We are very, very, very light, and I'm very, very excited, guys. This is good. We are actually priming. The fact that we no longer have the SEC gatekeeping us from centralized exchanges from listing us, I really think a lot of centralized exchanges are in talks. They're probably doing meetings. They're like, okay, hold on. Because guys, every single project that those centralized exchange list, it ends up as being a top signal. But guess what? Once if they list PulseChain, any of the products, really, it is not going to be a top signal. It's going to be the beginning. Okay. So, I mean, it really is a loss for them. Like we don't even need to sell ourselves. Like we have such a strong community. You can see it in Twitter. Every time I see people, commenting about PulseChain somewhere here and there, like everyone flocks to that tweet and supports it. It was really great. And I love this about the community. One of the greatest assets of PulseChain is actually the community, and more than the actual technology of PulseChain, which, hey, we are quicker than Ethereum by 17%. We are, less gas fees than Ethereum. Again, that's not really a USP, but it's still great. The fact that we're newer Ethereum, it gives you a chance to be in Ethereum again, like to be early on Ethereum again. Same thing with the fact that we have a PWBTC, gives you a chance to buy Bitcoin back at 2017 prices. We're going to talk about that in a second, because look at this. PDAI is 203x away from $1. PWBTC, Richard Hart's Bitcoin, is 184x from $1, currently at $427. Like, do you even need to look at shiny new objects and risk in a narrative that's not really a main narrative? Like, it's kind of a degen play. We have stuff like this, guys. These are DeFi products. Is DeFi dead? No, it's not. When we have the DeFi season, there's a high chance that these two products right here are going to be leading the unicorn of this DeFi 3.0 season for this bull run. Guys, I know it sounds like, it doesn't sound realistic. It doesn't sound it's gonna happen, but you have to believe in it. It was very hard to believe Dogecoin hitting billions of market cap in the previous cycle. You mean all of a sudden, like what? Meme coins weren't even a category in general in crypto. Like they actually created the meme coin genre. And guess what? Even though meme coins are the main narrative of this bull run, it is still around 3%. Look at this. Let's look here. It is still around 3%. Oh yeah, 1.69% of the total crypto dominance. Aside from that, looking at comparing PulseChain to Solana, which is obviously the unicorn so far in this bull run, look at this. Solana has a major JIT issue. We already know this. One of the top signals is people realizing that, hold on, celebrity tokens, they're extracting value from us so many times. And I've warned people so many times. Hey, I even made a video talking about, hey, do not get into the Trump meme coin. Yes, it's the one and only American president who launched it, still makes it a celebrity meme coin. That means it is not sustainable. That means it doesn't really have a strong community. It feels artificial. They have to continue tweeting about it to keep it alive. You don't want to be part of that. Okay, don't waste your money part of that unless you're early to it. And of course, the only people who were early to it were the VCs, the venture capitalists, dumping on retail investors. This is exactly what happened. Same thing with Libra. It's a huge issue going on. And the second point here is that it is centralized. Not a lot of people know this, that Solana has 3,400 validators compared to PulseChain's 47 or almost 49,000 validators. Also, I want to point out that Solana has around 50% of its token supply allocated to VCs, yes, which have some token unlocks. I think we had a token unlock at the 1st of March. So, these are not really the best things in terms of decentralization. From PulseChain, we have the OA banks, which is a proven benevolence. It's basically like a secondary burn address. They have never sold a penny, the same way how the OA of EHEX, the one on the Ethereum, never sold a penny, and it really helped Hex go do that 10,000x that we've seen. It changed a lot of people's lives. It minted millionaires. Are you going to be part of that story to tell? And you can see here, flawless uptime. We do have 100% uptime, but on Solana's side, it is very, very bad with a lot of network outages, ties to SBF. So that is very, very true. And they have here founder of Hex, Richard Hart, and I believe he's probably the best crypto founder out there. World's largest airdrop, the same thing that we spoke about. Cheap gas fees, cycle 1 again. We're experiencing its first bull run, so very good news. Now, in terms of compare Bitcoin to Hex, now listen, I'm not going to say Hex is a better Bitcoin, but I'm going to say Hex is the Bitcoin of DeFi. Okay, so I'm going to keep that there because, of course, I do believe in the law of power, which is never outshine your master. Without Bitcoin, none of this would have probably existed at all. Because again, Bitcoin started, and then Ethereum got the inspiration, and then here we are today, where Hex is effectively a more efficient version of Bitcoin. So imagine if there was no Bitcoin, what would Richard Hart think about to make more efficient? So on Bitcoin side, there's no staking, there's no yield. It is proof of work. It's bad for the environment, and there's history of inflation bugs, and that is very true. There's two historical events of inflation bugs. And now on Hex's side, it has staking yield thanks to the smart contract where you pay with time. With you guys can see here time locking, and compared to, for example, being a miner on Bitcoin, it requires 24/7 equipment staying on, and plus the fact that equipment is super expensive. You're paying a lot of electricity, you're dissipating a lot of heat, which depending, and you're doing a lot of noise pollution as well. So it depends if you have a room that that's far away from you. So you see there's a lot of factors here that makes it not the best, plus the fact that the hash, the difficulty and the hash rate just keeps on increasing. It is not that profitable, I would say, or not that attractive for anyone really to start Bitcoin mining unless you have a lot of upfront capital. And yeah, you can see here Hex is good for the environment, of course, because it's part of the it is an ERC20 contract that is on a proof of stake blockchain. 100% flawless uptime, that is very true. Immutable code, that is extremely very true. No hacks or inflation bugs, that is also very true. No halted withdrawals. And actually one up over Bitcoin is the fact that Hex is audited by the best auditing firms out there. Bitcoin is actually not audited, so there's a fun fact. And also Hex's smart contract, it never really changed. The same Hex that you have here on PulseChain is the same one that you have on Ethereum. 100% uptime. You guys can literally go ahead and read the smart contract line by line. Like there's no secret. There's nothing there that you have to trust. It is trustless. Okay, so there's that. Hex is very, very bullish. And now moving on to Richard Hart's latest tweet here. It says, Bitcoin made power companies rich. Hex was born. Ethereum multiplied the S-load gas price. PulseChain was born. Uniswap removed Hex from its default list. PulseX was born. Being driven to greatness. What is next? I believe this could be a hint at the PDAI narrative, as in a true decentralized stablecoin. And of course, this ties hand to hand with PWBTC. And let me tell you why. Like, what is the motivation? And it is stuff like this. This is what PDAI exactly fixes. So, new from Cointelegraph. Tether freezes 27 million USDT on Russian exchange Garantex, forcing the sanctioned platform to halt trading and withdrawals. This is not decentralization, guys. This is centralization. Number one, we don't even know how much dollars is actually backing this stablecoin. Number two, it does have freeze functions, as you guys can see here, and this is not great at all. This is why Richard Hart really liked DAI from Ethereum, and he wanted to one-up it by making it have no admin keys. This is why Richard Hart liked the DAI from stablecoin, because number one, it's an algorithmic stablecoin that is a DAO as well, so decentralized autonomous organization. And he probably wanted to one-up it by making it truly decentralized with no admin keys. This is probably one of the motives why he wanted to launch PulseChain. Okay, by this whole plan is to clone the PRC20s and make a world's largest airdrop, and at the same time he's going to make the world's most decentralized stablecoin. Welcome to PulseChain. We love you. Like, this is so exciting. And then here's actually another tweet. Big shout out to Crypto Coffee, because he shared one of the old to-do lists from Richard Hart. I wonder if he still wants to make an exchange work well for Binance Chain BSC. Okay, now I've already covered this a few videos ago, and I'm going to show you guys here. This is the PulseChain mainnet minimal viable product. Obviously, the testnet is already up, bridges already up, front end, etc., etc. But this is post MVP, assuming that it basically means post launch or post deployment. Trading pancake swap fork, so that's PulseX, and that is LP rewards for ERC PRC 20 pairs. So yes, this did happen, because if we go back to PulseChain, we go back to the farms, we see finished at some point there was the PWBTC EWBTC farms. This is bullish, bullish, bullish. Okay, so now we go back and you can see here coin ranking sites for PRC 20s. Now there's none that are officially made by Richard Hart or by the dev team, but we have stuff like GoPulse, we have stuff like Pulse CoinList. Big shout out to them. They're third-party made, community made websites. Now here he talks about a wallet that replaces MetaMask, Electron app for cross-platform. Huge, huge, huge. Okay, Uniswap, but across chains. Is he talking about PulseX being launched on Ethereum, for example? Again, this is also very, very huge. This is good vision. More bridges to start then BTC, BNB, Bitcoin Cash, in that order. So we will see. Is there going to be a bridge, for Bitcoin that allows people to turn their Bitcoin into PWBTC? That would be crazy. And here the network is PulseChain, Uniswap v3 front end. So this is going to be very, very huge as well. If they added the updated PulseX to finally have v3, we already have v3 front end made by other community made dexes like the 9mm and the 9-inch. And here you can see stablecoin from my exchange I am making. Guys, this could be a hint at PDAI. Like, Richard Hart has been planning for PDAI for years, even before PulseChain launched. Guys, this is not a coincidence. This is all part of the plan. And what's even crazy is that PDAI did a 10,000x without any involvement from the sacrifice funds, without any involvement from Richard Hart or the OA wallets yet. Like, this is crazy, crazy, crazy. An aggregator, replace 1inch.io, market orders and limit orders. So we will see that. That's also exciting. Margin trading, exciting. Tornado.cash, fork or whatever similar service here, a mixer. We have Hexnado already can modify. So a lot of things I think that we can expect very, very soon from Richard Hart. Obviously, one of them being him live streaming, but I think he's strategically pulling back from that, because he's still, guys, he is still wanted by the Interpol. So I think he cannot. I think he's basically also translates to him being wanted in America, unfortunately. So we can expect that live stream to happen sometime a little bit later this year. And the same thing with sacrifice funds, right? When is he going to rotate it into PulseChain? I expect, trying to think in the mind of Richard Hart, like what did he do with Ethereum in the adoption amplifier? He held that Ethereum up until Ethereum topped, and that's exactly when he did the buybacks into Hex. And that's what helped Hex go even further beyond Ethereum's all-time high. I think he's going to do the same thing here. So putting your mind in Richard Hart's head, when is he going to rotate the sacrifice funds, is when he thinks Ethereum is about to top. Simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all the YouTube members who are choosing to support my small channel. You can become a YouTube member. You'll have access to my members exclusive videos where I talk more about the market psychology And again, this is a little bit advanced, so if you are new to crypto, just carry on watching my public videos. And of course, thank you very much for watching this far. Give this video a like, comment down below, let me know what you think about PulseChain. Join my community, link in the description. Feel free to check out my course, link in the description as well, about the crypto operational security. Make sure that you are safe before you traverse or take crypto more seriously. Okay, it's better to be safe than sorry, and complacency is a major risk. So please understand the landscape that you're working with, the attack vectors, and how you can mitigate for them. Are you doing the best crypto practices? But aside from that, going back to it, thank you very much to the highlighted comments here. Ramadan Kareem, brother, really useful stuff. Thank you very much.